Hello, it's Beverly with the Intuitive Interior, and it's time for the January 2022, January 2022 I Ching reading. Woo! Sometimes, time ever since COVID began, it feels a little squishy, and this time around, the cards continue to show that the energy is going to continue to be a little squishy. Starting today, January 5th. Through February 3rd. That is the Yin Metal Ox month. And again, Chinese do it based on the lunar calendar versus just our arbitrary, that's it. Anyway, it's always based on the sun. So that's why the dates are a little bit different than our regular Western calendar. Anyway, we're just finishing up a Yin Metal Ox year. Starting February 4th, that is the Yang Water Tiger year. What's fun is this month is the doubled energy of the annual energy that we're moving out of. Next month will be the double energy of the annual energy, just slightly different because we're moving from metal and ox to water and tiger. What this also means is that things may be feeling a little extra constricted this month. I mean, it's like, okay, we've got to really put our nose to the grindstone. We've got to finish up everything that didn't get completed this last year because we're about to go from really being, focused, heavy ox energy into more of that tiger energy. It's a little bit more showy. It's a little, you can't hide with that tiger energy. It doesn't let you hide. So here's what the cards said, because you'll see. Okay, the first card I drew was number 64. It's called Before Completion. The energy over here is, so the hexagram here on the bottom. So I love this deck because it kind of gives you a little bit more of an idea. So because sometimes my eyes get a little crossed on this. But this under here, this is Kan. This is the symbol for water. So you can see the water here. Above that is Li. That's the symbol for fire. Fire, okay? Think about a floating candle. You've got it lit, but if anything really disturbs the surface of that water, candle's out. That's it. You've just sunk your opportunity to have that nice little light. The words on this card are uncertainty, doubt and hesitation, loss of faith, unstable conditions, be extra cautious, and discord. So if that wasn't enough, kind of that feeling of, oh, I don't know how that's all going to work out, the focus line on this was number 5. Let me just read that to you. So the way that this also works is there are 6 focus lines, because you saw that they're on the hexagram, there's 6 lines. So that's what this is all about. This one is line 4, not 5. The more fundamental the differences are that you must overcome, the more important it is to be true to yourself. Make sure you take plenty of space to withdraw when you need it, in order to align yourself and your motivations to the highest ideals. Your strongest ally in the present circumstances is your inner truth. Since we've now gotten into, what is this, the 4th or the 5th wave of COVID, I've kind of lost count anymore. This part, to me, this is again, advising everyone to just, consider that maybe you have to calm down about some of the things you want to do. There's some more in the book here. One of the other interesting pieces of advice here is talking about that just because you've put a lot of time and energy into a course of action, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the right course of action. There's that concept of, sunk costs. If you find, if that, this actually is not the direction I need to go, oh dear, maybe I'd planned on attending this conference or going to this meeting or having dinner with a whole bunch of people in a restaurant. Suddenly now you might have to kind of go, maybe I better not. Maybe it's time for me to, reevaluate. Maybe it's time for me to cancel that whole endeavor. Because even if, just because you're really attached to something, that a certain outcome doesn't necessarily mean that that's actually the right thing to be focusing on. So anyway, it's better to just, cut your losses, say, okay, back away from that. And that way you have that energy reserved to go into the next opportunity. Okay, so the next card is number 35. This is called progress. Seems a little, contradictory, considering we just went from this kind of the, before completion thing to now a progress. This one also has that same symbol on the top. So you see the fire, that's the Li symbol, but underneath that is the Kun symbol. That is the Yin Earth symbol. You see this nice little square there. The words here are advancement, gaining recognition, appreciation, achievements, acceleration, steady gains, and increased clarity. Again, I love the clarity piece. You got this gentleman who's just dancing, having a clearly is feeling very accomplished in their ability to perform. This was the number 6 focus line. And here's what that one says. Use this time for focused work, and rather than becoming exhausted, you will find that your energy will increase. If you give 100% and at the same time stay relaxed and easy about whether you're successful or not, you can gain an uncommon satisfaction of a job well done. In this way, it is possible to ride the cresting wave and not get personally invested in your progress. So again, as I talked before about, the need to evaluate if the direction that you're going is the right one. This is talking about losing your attachment to things showing up a certain way. If that isn't a metaphor or the wisdom that we've all needed to have for the past couple of years, I don't know what really there is. Because as we have all experienced, as soon as we get attached to stuff being, back to normal, we tend to get a little bit disappointed. So flexibility is key. Doing good work for good work's sake, not necessarily, again, becoming too attached to everybody saying, oh, look at you, you're doing such a good job. And of course, everybody loves that ego stroking. Don't get me wrong, I do too. Love it when people, like and subscribe these things. So, it helps me to know that I'm providing value. But I do this for me. It's not because I want all the kudos. This also is kind of a precursor to what's coming up next year. You remember how I talked about next year is the Yang water tiger? Just I'll be doing another video on for just a general overview of what to expect from this new energy that's coming in. But if you think about tigers and their stripes, unless they're in the jungle where they're waiting to pounce and eat you, there's really no hiding. This energy that's coming up for next year, where we're already starting to feel a little bit of that, there is no hiding. If you have been, ethical, moral, doing things, doing good for just being, doing good's sake, if you're in alignment with your integrity, those actions are going to show up in the light of day. But if you have been just trying to build your own ego and, doing things just so that you look good and not necessarily doing good, if you are manipulating, not necessarily being ethical, guess what? That's going to come to light too. So You've got, this is your warning, honestly. This is the last little bit where you get to clean things up. Remember, this is the cleanup month. If you don't get it cleaned up starting next month, whew, that spotlight can get a little bright, whether you like it or not. So anyway, that's what that card's kind of, again, giving everybody a little bit of heads up. The final card is actually a really nice one. It is number 31. It's called Influence. And we have this hexagram here. Underneath is Yang Earth with Yin Metal. This is on top. So we've got Gen under here and Dui on top. This talks about courtship, mutual attraction, genuine affection, natural magnetism, stimulation, and connecting. To me, this card is all about, we're starting to slowly get back into community, and to be aware of what does that mean? How do we navigate these ever-changing waters so that we can really connect again and reconnect? Oh, I forgot to mention, the reason why this is neat, going back to this, is that we've got the yin earth underneath the fire. So think about a fire, like a campfire on the ground. That's what this is about. That's why it's like, okay, yeah, I think things are going to be lighting up. This, on the other hand, we've got the yang earth underneath, and we've got the yin metal on top. It is about finding out where you fit. Who do you fit with? There's going to be a lot more of evaluation of the relationships that you have in your world. Does that mean it's, your romantic relationship, the people that you're working for, even your relationship with yourself, because we all have been going through a lot of transformation these past several years, well, just the past month. And so the yang earth is like the metal form, or the form, a rock, but the yin metal, it's like when you take a copper and you pound it over a form. They fit together, but they also can be separate. But there's that natural attraction that goes on because they do fit. So that's kind of the energy around that. This particular focus line is number 5, and that should be, here we go. The beginning can sometimes be pretty rocky before the real relationship dance begins. Learning each other's moves takes patience, forgiveness, and a sense of humor. Everyone seems to want intimacy, love, and happiness, but when faced with challenges, awkwardness, and vulnerability, many aren't willing to undertake the moment-to-moment maintenance that every relationship requires. Be realistic with yourself about your own motivations and act accordingly. While there may be a lot of folks who will look at this and go, ooh, romance, dating, I actually look at this more of, we're all having to relearn how to people. I don't know about you guys, but my peopling muscle, well, it's a little flabby. I mean, there's certainly other parts of my body that are flabby too, but that peopling muscle, it needs to get some, needs some help. And to understand that, okay, that's fine. I get it. Move slowly back into the peopling. Give everybody that grace. Some people literally have forgotten how to not speak to folks without a screen between them, or without actual words instead of just typing. So that is kind of a general overview, I believe, here for the month of January. The last little bit of that, the last gasp of that yin metal ox, that hard focused, yet creative energy that, I'm going to make it through this. My suggestion again, tie up all those loose ends. Make sure that you are keeping your eyes open for those areas where you may not be in full integrity, and then be gentle. with yourself and everyone else that you come into contact with, because they're all doing the same stuff that you are. Anyway, hope this helps. Enjoy the rest of your January, and be aware that, with all of this too, Mercury's going to be going into retrograde soon. Off the top of my head, I cannot remember the date that it starts. I'll put it underneath this. And so there is that too. All right, y'all have a great January. Enjoy 2022.